Once a year, Valparaíso stops. The port comes to a halt, routine is paused, and the endless stairs are emptied. Those that are normally used to be climbed once a year will only be used to go downhill. Once a year, Valparaíso stops to be seen by the world, so that everyone will witness a new coronation, the King of the Port. 17 years have passed, and hundreds have arrived with the same dream. Only 8 have ever achieved it. The king may change, but the reign remains the same. Far, near. A race, it's all or nothing. A demonstration of determination. A gauntlet from peak to ocean, which will crown a new king. Once a year, Valparaíso is Cerro Abajo, and that moment is now.
Welcome everyone across the globe to the 2019 edition of the Red Bull Valparaíso Cerro Abajo. With me today is the one and only Claudio Colore.
Hello everybody!
My name is Addison Zawada and we're coming to you from the land of Fushicolares, narrow streets and endless colors, the Uniseco World Heritage Staple, Valparaíso, Chile. Today, Claudio, we are looking at a downhill urban mountain bike race, looking for some riders to watch. What do we got going on?
Well, one of them is Gabriel Giovannini, just coming off a winning streak, and it's his first time here actually ever, but let's see if we can go with that winning streak.
Very excited to see.
We're on a bit of a delay there. We should have introduced the riders. They're gonna come up shortly.
But looking up at the crowd, look at that crowd we've got on the street. It gets bigger and bigger every year. Looking at the final feature on course here, they call that the flower shop. I think you were telling me earlier that the winner, as he goes by, if he's got a substantial lead, might even get a bouquet of flowers going through.
Yeah, I think if you're gonna win, that's where you pick up your flowers.
So what are the expectations for today, Claudio?
Well, as usual at those city races in South America, lots of people. Well, the weather there, we cannot complain, I would say. But
the weather looks about as perfect as we can get. Looking out at the port right now, this is the major port for the western side of South America. A huge port and the largest port in Chile.
Oh, you did some research.
I tried, you know, I studied up. Actually, you know, funiculares, these elevators that you see going up and down the city, I did some research into those. Those are pretty fascinating. So the roads and driveways and walkways are so steep here, hence why we have the hundreds of thousands of stairs that we're racing on today. But they've got these, looking back at our riders to watch, who we got?
There is Gabriel Giovannini from Brazil, first time here. And this is actually Johannes Fishbach from Germany, former four-cross pro still, but now he switched to downhill, super fast there as well. Next one here.
And then we're looking at Pedro Ferreira. He is without a doubt a rider to watch in this moment in world urban downhill mountain biking.
Wow, they're mixing this up for us. Matias Nunez, he actually got injured in practice, can't race today.
And then the man, the myth, the legend, you can't count him out. Two-time winner here and the defending champion, Thomas Slavic, by way of the Czech Republic. Let's see what Slavic has got going on for us today. But quick, let's take a look at what our course is today. Claudio, run us through some of the features on this course.
Well, the graphics are going to run us through it. They said that there is less pedaling on the track this year. I think it's actually the same track that just added more technical features, which then makes it less pedally. And well, as you can see, there's still lots of straights, but one of the key features are those stairs there. They get really, really narrow towards the end, and I wouldn't want to be racing through those narrows because you just have to make sure you don't hit your handlebars to the sides.
Checking out the course earlier on the bottom of those Boccaccio stairs, if you've got full downhill mountain bike bars, I mean, I'm talking 800 mil or more, there's only a centimeter maybe between each side of the bars. It is crazy narrow.
I would actually consider cutting down the handlebars for that section. But, you know, a lot of features, as you see here, a lot of jumps. They're quite big. A lot of fun they look too, but at the end, it's not only the most skillful rider that's going to win this one, it's also the fittest one because it remains quite pedally.
Yeah, and the final features on that course, I mean, we've got the container that you jump out of, the flower shop, but you can't count out the bus, an 8-meter gap on that one.
Probably with the speed you come at it, 8 meters is not that much.
I'm hoping for these riders' sake because that sounds like a very large jump. Looking at the hot seat on screen, that looks comfortable. We actually have got a new addition this year. Instead of just one in the hot seat, we've now got it for all 3 of the top 3 riders. Looking up at the start list, we are kicking it off today with Win Masters out of New Zealand. Mauricio Acuña by way of Chile, Ian Rojas, Chile again, Beto Nicolas out of the Chile, and then Johannes Fishbach out of Germany, Adrien Loron, Geronimo Perez, Pedro Ferreira, and Thomas Slavic rounding it out. He is the fastest qualifier of the day by way of the Czech Republic with a 2:51.
That's 2 seconds in front of everybody else. 2 seconds is a lot on a track like this.
Well, last year he beat his fastest time, and this year it's a little bit slower, but the course is 200 meters longer. So I have a feeling that might be coming into play here.
And you see that the strong pedalers are up there. So, well, I wouldn't say it's an easy track. It's still going to be very gnarly if you want to hit all those technical features at full speed.
No, it's not. And I was reading earlier, the course is 1.9 kilometers long. It seems longer than that, but that's because of all the stairs and the 237 meters of drop. That's a lot of drop in 2 kilometers.
That is really, I wonder how they built that city.
Getting another look at our hot seat and what you got going on live there. If you're with us on Red Bull TV, we have got an action-packed day coming at you. We're talking about Valparaíso today. Red Bull Valparaíso Cerro Abajo. That's what we're looking at today. If you're at home though, waiting on everything to get kicked off, make sure you jump over and download the app and Bike Channel Script. Download the Red Bull TV app for free and enjoy some amazing content anywhere, anytime on all those devices. Looking up at all those GoPros, cameras, everyone is ready for our first rider, Win Masters, to come blasting through that container drop.
Well, these spectators should watch the race and not just their screens. Well, there's no race on yet, but
look at that city, though. Absolutely fantastic. The rolling hills of Valparaíso. Just a beautiful sight. The architecture and the colors that you see in this city are bar none amazing.
And this is actually pretty much the kickoff of the 2019 mountain bike season. First big event.
It is, and we were talking about it's the kickoff of sort of the downhill season. Now, granted, this is urban downhill, so it's a little different, but this is really a kickoff of all mountain biking this year. I mean, we've got a ton of the four-cross riders. We got a ton of downhill riders. We've even got some of the top-level World Cup riders out here today.
Yes, and you know, only 2 weeks from here, we're going to kick off the Red Bull Pump Track World Championship, also in Chile. Then, a few weeks later, Crankworx in New Zealand.
I heard rumors that some of these riders might not even be leaving. They're just going to hang out in Valparaíso until Pump Track rolls around.
Oh, really? That's good to know. And then remember also, it's only a bit more than 2 months until we kick off the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup.
And don't forget that you can check out all that action, both the Pump Track World Challenge and the UCI World Cup Downhill Circuit. Yep, you're going to catch all that on Red Bull TV. That's redbulltv.com. Go there for any and all amazing information and, well, the best content around. Looking up at the start gate right now, we are just getting ready. We are only moments away from dropping our first riders of the day. And then it is pretty much get pedal to the metal and full on the entire afternoon.
So the first one out of the gate is going to be Win Masters. Maybe he's doing some wheelies somewhere.
He's probably shooting his next Instagram video.
Yeah.
But speaking of Win, Win is one of my favorites because he's always...
Oh, there he goes.
Win is out the gate. Here we go. Dropping down. Look at him hard on the pedals. He is known for his enduro racing, so you know he's not scared to mash the pedals.
Where did he come from, though? He wasn't standing in the start hut.
He was getting an extra running start. It's called Tactics and Secrets.
Uh-huh.
Looking onto our course, we've got the first flat track corner. We saw a couple riders go down in that last year, but no problem for Win right now. getting down through our first feature. That's going to be over Jessica's yard. Yep, win by way of New Zealand, hitting the first stairs on course. Boccaccio's corner, get ready. That is probably going to throw a few riders off today. I saw in practice and qualifiers it was giving some people some trouble, but not win. Nope.
Now look at how narrow this gets towards the end of these stairs. Right here, it's getting more narrow and more narrow. You're gonna be so close to your hand, to those walls with your handlebars.
Every time, it gets me every time. But dropping down right through, yep, that's through the hostel, the local hostel. Yeah, we are running through that course today. That is about the only dirt you'll actually see on course today. Rest of it is all concrete.
I wonder if going through that house, if you ride the full width of a downhill handlebar, if you're actually going to make it through the house.
They were telling me that it's only a few centimeters on each side. Not quite as narrow as the stairs, but not much wider. Down over the WD-40 drop, you can hear the dogs in the background.
Win Masters pedaling super hard. You can see him, not right now, but you could see him pedal super hard. You see that there's so many flat sections. It's going to be burning already halfway through the course. Your legs are going to be burning.
They were talking about the average gradient of in the 45% range, so it's very steep there. But when you want to get on that top step and get into that 250, low 250 range, like Thomas Slavic is, you really got to be on the pedals the whole time.
Yeah, you know, the steep sections are only in the stairs, but those streets here, I mean, they are steep, but still, you are gonna be pedaling as hard as possible.
It looks like it. As we get towards the back half of our course, you can really see the endurance come into play.
Oh no! Trouble! And that's exactly where city downhill racing is so hard, because we're not used to race on tarmac, we're used to dirt, and to find that limit where the grip is on the road, that's where it gets really tricky, and that's probably also what Win Masters is struggling with.
Well, I would guess...
Again!
Oh no, Win!
Oh no!
I would guess, judging by this, come on, yeah, Win! Getting up, doing it for the crowd. I would guess that those tires are not necessarily designed for racing on pavement like this. They're more off-road tires.
Yes, I think the top guys will choose different tires. They will not just ride.
There he is, Win, doing it for the crowd. What a showman himself.
Yes, I do expect the top riders in this race ride special tires, not just normal downhill tires.
Okay, so you think they're actually running a little bit different setup than they would in a traditional downhill scenario?
I am pretty sure, because you need to stiffen up your suspension with all that pedaling. There's no use in having the suspension fully supple. There's no roots and rocks on the track, there's just stairs. So you can just have it stiff.
Looking back up at the course, let's take a look at some of the highlight moments of Win's run.
As you were expecting, a lot of... And there is trouble for Win Masters right there. We don't know if there was some gravel on the road, but even if there's not, again here, that grip is so hard to judge on the road when you're not that used to it.
And I would imagine, just from the type of cycling that I do, the grip changes from top to bottom. Of course, you're going to be riding on different types of pavement and asphalt, so it's going to change throughout the course. I would imagine that plays into fact there. But we are back up on the starting hill. We're looking for Mauricio Acuña, by way of Chile, age 30, one of the top three.
Will we see another flying start right here? His timing his time is already running, so I wonder.
Well, I have a feeling, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I know, it's like the UCI downhill. They have to cross that plane. There's actually a trigger that they cross going out of the gate, and that's what officially starts their time.
Oh, well, I do see a light beam down there, a laser, which is probably what's gonna trigger the time, but we haven't seen the rider going out of the gate yet.
Well, once we see that door there open, I have a feeling it's all game on. Looking at Win up in the leader's seat. That's the hot seat. So far, taking the fastest time of the day. He is our first rider, though. I don't know if it will stick. But let's see if we can get a look at what his time actually is.
Well, with 2 crashes, I doubt it's going to stick for very long. Waiting for Mauricio Acuña. I think that's how we say his name. He's from Chile, 30 years old.
Yep. Okay. Once again, we are here in Valparaíso, Chile today. This is on the west coast of South America. I made the mistake earlier saying the west coast of Chile, but Chile doesn't really have an east coast, so I guess it's just the west coast there. But they are on the west coast of South America. We are about 120 kilometers northwest of Santiago. It is a tourism capital in all of Chile. Tons, millions and millions of people living there. Got about 1 million inhabitants currently. I believe the last census said about 1 million inhabitants, so that explains why the streets are so full. And it looks like just about every one of them came out for this event today. These streets are packed.
And this event has been here for 17 years. And the success just has become bigger and bigger. As you can see at the crowds on the side of the track, it's always a big party in town when this event arrives.
So a funny fact that I was looking up, doing our research for the show, so we sound semi-educated. We can't be too educated, but semi-educated. There are a few riders here that have actually won at this event before. We're looking at Mauricio Acuña by way of Chile. Yeah, that's actually our next rider, the guy in the gate. He's won at this event before, Claudio.
Yes, so maybe, I don't know. He's a bit nervous there, not going out of the gate, trying to win this again, or I don't know what the wait is for. There he is.
There he is out of the gate. This is his 13th running at this race. He's not only taken first, but he has ridden it more than anyone else in this field today. Doing it out of Chile, the local boy coming down hard on the pedals through that first section. This is one of those flat sections where all of your endurance and energy is really going to come into play.
And sprinting that hard out of the gate, that's going to require some fitness to be able to sprint all the way down to the finish line, because there's a couple of more straights further down, one of them right here.
It is, and you can hear the dogs in the background. Hopefully they are all tied up and locked down. Had a couple issues with that last year, but so far has not been a problem this year. Down through our first stair section, looking good so far. Coming down to that super tight section. Watch again right at the bottom of this. Whoa. So far at the first split, Claudio, we are just over a second up on Windmasters.
Well, that's gonna change unless he crashes too. There he goes through the only dirt on track. This turn right after the track, after the dirt right there, will be quite tricky when you come to the street with dirty tires. But back on the pedals here over the bus jump.
Oh, a little short on that bus jump. How's that gonna affect him on the bottom half?
Well, that's gonna probably cost him some speed, but with the mistakes that Windmasters did further down, it's not going to be a problem to beat his time. But obviously, Mauricio doesn't just want to beat Windmasters' time, because he won here before, and I assume that's what he wants to do again today.
And he's looking like it right now. He has been on the pedals every opportunity I've seen him so far. Even in that stair section, he's pedaling.
All right, but he's through the stairs now, and now it's all about pedaling and jumping. Another jump coming. A hip jump out of this turn, smooth, no problem, and on the pedals again right there.
That has to be one of my favorite features on all course, because one, it looks good, but two, it's extremely technical. Coming out of a shark fin like that into a gap has to be one of the harder things on this course. Oh, a little slip. Is he going to hold it? Makes it clean through the line. That's where Windmasters actually fell just last run.
He fell right there, and he was in trouble too. Have you seen? He almost went to the curb. So that must be one of the key sections right there.
He must have raced some BMX back in the day, because that foot down flat out style is very BMX-esque. Up through the second section that Wind fell in. Here we go through the container, down through the flower shop. What's the time gonna be in the speed tuck? Looking like Peter Sagan down there. Here it comes through the flower shop. What's the time gonna be? A smasher of 2:56.78. That is going to bump Mauricio way into the #1 spot.
But if I'm right, we're nowhere close to winning qualifying time.
No, we've still got about 5 seconds behind Thomas Slavic's winning qualifying time. But that is still a heater down there.
Have you seen when he went through the flower shop how close his handlebar was to that exit?
That's everywhere on this course.
Yes, you can see it right here. Look at the last stairs. How close was his handlebar to that rail?
And here's that little bobble on that big bus jump. Again, 8 meters long.
And look right there. It feels like it looks like he almost touched it. That is scary.
That's why these gentlemen are doing this and not us, because they're the pros at this. All right, Ian Rojas, another Chilean in the gate. Here we go, doors open, gates down, and we are on course.
The first one we actually see taking the correct start, not doing a flying one. That will cost him a second, I would say.
That's okay. He looks like he has got it under control on the trail bike. We're going to talk about that in just a little bit, but Ian Rojas is hard charging on the pedals. As we move down towards our first split, we're about halfway there.
All right, next pedally straight. Let's see if he's still standing up or if he starts tucking.
These events are so unique, this urban downhill format. Claudio, can you tell me a little bit about why are these events so popular? What makes them what they are?
Well, you know, it's access to the spectators. The spectators don't have to travel to the mountains to see the riders. They actually can stay in their cities. No problem with those stairs for Ian Rojas, but his time, 4.6 seconds back.
Through the hostel, down through the only dirt section on course today. Will he stick it? Yes, he does. Ian Rojas, got to adjust. What was he doing there? What was going on?
I think he was probably locking his suspension to be able to pedal harder. He also comes up short on that jump. So I was actually thinking that jump would not be very big, but maybe with all the pedaling they need to do beforehand, it is quite big because they might just not have enough juice in their legs to actually push it hard enough.
Well, that jump is so big and it's about halfway down course, and it's also on a very flat section. I was finding as I looked earlier that it's on a much flatter section, so really does take some horsepower to get over.
But as you mentioned earlier, he's actually riding a small bike with only a single crown fork, while we saw the rider before on a full-on downhill bike. And I would have expected the small bike to be a lot quicker in the pedaling sections, but Ian is actually losing quite a bit of time, but maybe he's catching up now.
Well, let's see. We're about to run through our second split here. He is going to be behind by only 0.6 seconds, so he made up a lot of time on that section.
Wow, now that is surprising. So he had a very slow top, but then caught up through the middle. So it's all down to the last bit of the course, the last 20 seconds now going.
Now he's getting in that speed tuck. Little check on the helmet. Down past our final stair section. Coming into the final features. Blasting out of that container. The crowd is going crazy. The cell phones are out and he is in the speed tuck. One more feature before the flower shop, and then it's all about the finish line.
It's not going to make it.
Not going to make it in the green. He goes second fastest currently with a time of 2:58.52. Ian Rojas out of Chile. Looking up at our hot seat right now. Boys are just starting to get comfortable. It is going to be a long afternoon, but let's take a look back up the hill at what we just witnessed.
On the small bike here, you can see he wasn't that close to that rail with his hand. Definitely on those stairs, I would want to be on the big bike, but then on the rest of the track, you know, with all those sprints, you're definitely better off on the small bike. Small meaning just less suspension, single crown fork, otherwise pretty much the same.
Okay, so as we're talking about different bike setups and that sort of thing, let's talk about riders. What type of rider is geared towards this, or what type of rider with this course? Oh, wait, we are back up in the gate. No, it is all about racing action. Alberto Nicolas, another Chilean, up in the gate. out of the gate, hard charge and on the pedals.
21 years old, and actually here his best result was 9th. Sprinting quite well here. Is he on the big one or is he on the small bike? Let's see, I haven't seen it.
I believe he's actually on a full-size bike. We're talking full 8 inches of suspension, dual crown. So
yeah,
bike setups are very important, but what type of rider does this actually gear towards?
You know, as you can see from former results, it is the 4-cross riders who really have the sprinting legs that are doing well here. Not saying that a downhiller can't pedal, but the explosive pedaling is really where the 4-cross riders are stronger at. The technical features are there, but they're not as many of them as in a proper downhill race. No, whoa, look, that was a pretty sketchy one right there. Have you seen how close he went to those rails?
Yes, indeed. So, as we're coming down through this run, you're telling me that it's more the riders that are, I mean, 4-cross from my understanding is essentially a sprint out of the gate and then a sprint to the bottom of a very short track, versus downhill racing is typically a little bit longer track.
Quite a lot longer, actually, with quite a lot more technical features in there. Now this is a mix out of both. It's a long track with a lot of jumps and features, but also a lot of sprints in there. And some downhill riders handle those sprints better, some don't. But in 4-cross, there's no choice. You have to handle the sprints really well, because otherwise you will not be a 4-cross racer.
Well, Alberto is coming down. We already ran through the first split, but coming up upon our second. He is still hard charging on the pedals down through that final stair section on course. What's it gonna be? Will he go into the green? Getting close here.
Oh, high up on that fin, and that looked nice. Actually, this looks a lot of fun. You said it's tricky. It will be tricky, but it's also a lot of fun. What's not so much fun is that you have to keep on pedaling right afterwards.
All right, coming into our second and final split time on course. He is down 1.8 seconds. Yes, so he is 1.8 seconds faster right now. That is really good in the green.
And actually what you've seen there, he didn't even try to get grip there. He just used the curbs as berms. He slid into both curbs, which is probably a good strategy.
If you're gonna go out of control, start out of control and finish in control versus going the other way.
Exactly.
Well, down through the container section, coming out of our final flower drop. What's it gonna be? The flower shop tells all.
He seems fresh. Look how he's sprinting.
He goes fastest currently with a 2:54.92. That's 1.8 seconds faster. Wow, the times are coming down rider after rider.
Win Master's doing his social media duties right there at the finish line. So we have the big bike in the lead at the moment. You see where this bike excels. Here on the stairs, no problem for him, but the pedaling wasn't the problem for him either. So he's definitely in shape. Let's see how long that time lasts for the hot seat.
This is where it's going to start to get spicy, because we were talking about favorite riders earlier. My personal favorite is up in the gate next, talking about Remy Metailler. But right now it's all about Alberto Nicolas, the 21-year-old out of Chile, sitting on that top hot seat right now. Looking back in the gate, Remy Metailler, by way of France, doing it for a young 28 years old. This man, you can see him all over the internet crushing the trails up in Whistler, but right now it is all about Valparaíso, Chile.
And you also know him from Red Bull Rampage as the guy who rides it the fastest. Let's see if he's the fastest today. He's definitely out charging up there, but sitting down now, just probably saving it slightly to then go into the technical stuff.
With his experience and his knowledge, I'm assuming that he knows he's got a long way to go and needs to conserve as much up here at the top as possible.
Well, you know, it's only a 2-minute 50 track, so conserving energy on a 2:50 track, I don't know if that's the strategy. You need to be fit enough to push it as hard as possible from top to bottom.
And this is why they've got you doing the expert and me hosting, because you know just a little bit more about what's going on in the mind of these riders right now. Like Remy coming down through the stair set.
quite conservative at the last stairs, and I can quite understand that because it is just so sketchy there.
And in that first time split, he was up by 0.6 seconds, so he is fastest through that first half of the course so far.
And he does not seem to lack any energy right there on the pedals, as if it was out of the gate.
Remy is flying down this course. Metailler on course, down through that WD-40 drop, looking good. That is a amazing step down with a huge drop. We're talking 2 meters of drop in that course. Remy is our 11th fastest qualifier, which means after him, we've got 10 riders to go.
Doesn't look as fresh anymore now, as he's been sprinting up at the start so hard. He's pedaling a little slower, maybe just shifted up 1 gear, but he doesn't look that fresh anymore as he did up top.
Well, tell me, with these riders, does the temperature have anything to do? Because I know Remy is sort of based in Whistler, not completely, but Remy seems to be based out of Whistler a lot, so he's used to colder temperatures. Does the heat have anything to do with that? But let's actually take a look at this time split and see where it is and see what's going on course.
Split coming up right now.
Second split, he is 1.5 seconds fastest right now, so it is working for him.
He did not use the strategy of using the curbs as berms there, so I don't know if he went through those turns as fast as the other guy we just saw before.
That will be interesting to watch as we come down towards the bottom, because it's a little bit different style from what we've been seeing with other riders. Will it go faster? That's the question. He definitely looked the fastest through this section here that I've seen so far. He looks good, he looks comfortable.
He's got only 5 seconds to go if he wants to take the lead.
What's it gonna be?
Looking
And it's
good.
a smasher, 2:53.13. He knocks almost 2 seconds off of Alberto and Nicholas.
We're both struggling with the names for the moment, so I'm not as embarrassed as I just was before.
For qualifying, that would have been the second fastest time. So of the day, that's the second fastest lap on course.
All right, and you can see there at the last couple of stairs where he was going a little slower just to be sure to go straight, but then the rest of the course, he was on it. Also riding the full downhill bike.
Okay, so far it's a nod towards the downhill bike. They seem to be doing very well.
Yes, it looks, but we still have quite a few fast guys up there. Let's see what bike they choose.
That is very true. We have still got 10 riders to go here in Valparaíso, Chile. Looking at the top 5 currently, Remy Metailler by way of France, Beto Nicolas in the 2, Mauricio Acuña rounding out that top 3. These are the top 5 fastest riders of the day so far. 2:53.13 is the fastest time and the time to beat right now.
Just think that those 27 seconds by Win Masters are because of 2 crashes on the track, so he didn't actually go that slow.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Well, we are doing it for Red Bull TV right now. Claudio, it's been an amazing day so far. The weather is amazing. The temperature is beautiful. What are we about to see? We're starting to get down to those, we'll call them faster riders because they are the faster qualifiers. What are we about to see?
Well, you know, next up is Gabriel Giovannini, sorry. We're not used to those names yet. Because this is not a World Cup. It's different riders at the start. Some of them race World Cup, some of them don't. The next up, right here, from Brazil, 20 years old.
Gabriel Giovannini. Yes, Gabriel is coming off of winning the most prestigious 4-cross races in South America, doing it by way of Brazil. 27 years young, and boy, those legs look like they know it.
It's actually his first time here at Valparaíso.
We've got a couple first-timers here today, and it's amazing to see we're just bringing new talent in, especially from those South American countries, really, really progressing the culture and environment down there.
Oh, those kids better get out of the way.
This year, it's not about dogs, it's about the kids. Keeping them on the leash and out of the way just to keep them safe. But we are down, going through a small chicane, jumping into those stairs, looking fast and hard charging. Will he get some doubles, maybe a triple in here?
Wow, definitely not scared and staying nice straight.
Smooth, consistent. Oh! Just as I say smooth and consistent, a little bit of a bobble, but he holds on. Coming up to just past the first split, rolling into 1 minute and 3 seconds.
Wow, going deep on that jump, almost landing at the flat bottom. 18 seconds behind. There must have been a problem up there.
But we are looking down course. We're going to start looking towards that second split time. That will tell us all. Right now, Remy Metailler sitting on the 1 with a 2:13 in that second split. Will Giovannini go faster, dropping down through the WD-40 drop? That is a hard turn there. Going from dirt to, I'm assuming, a wood plank berm like that. That's got to be hard.
I wonder if the time, his first split time was right. If so, he must have crashed up there. And as said earlier, he goes deep on that jump too. That's the second jump. I see him landing almost at the flat bottom.
It's all about speed, and he's trying to squeak out every last little bit of it. Sometimes you just got to send it deep and go for it. Just gonna send it.
Yes, but if you want to keep your momentum, you better land early in the backside so you can actually push and gain some more momentum. If you land flat bottom, it's gonna cost you some speed and therefore also time. So
the first split was incorrect. We are down by 0.7 seconds. So he's still got to make up just a little bit. 0.7 seconds back from Remy Metailler, rolling down into the final bit of this course. 2:53 is the time to beat.
That is all about fitness now. Those 0.7 seconds are totally feasible if he's got strong enough legs. He's got 10 seconds to go if he wants to take that lead.
Well, from previous races already this year, he has got a lot of fitness. It's gonna be tight. What's it gonna be? Oh! Slides into second place with a 2:53, only 0.4 seconds behind Remy. The times are getting extremely close as we get closer and closer to that 2-minute and 50-second mark.
And I think they're gonna get a lot closer even now in the top 10. Now look how he attacked in that last bit of the stairs.
I've got to wonder, did that little bobble in the stairs cost him that 0.4 seconds?
Nah, I wouldn't say so, because the guy in the lead, Remy Metailler, was taking it really, really clean and slow through those last couple of stairs just to be safe. So I don't think he just lost time there by attacking hard.
Okay, so just clean and consistent is what got Remy through there. Felipe Arguto, another Chilean up in the gate. They are locked and loaded here in Chile today. Hard charging on the pedals. Here we go down through the first section. First big feature on course. And followed up directly by the first big flat pedal section. This is where your legs are already burning. That lactic acid buildup is going crazy right now.
And he's been sitting for quite a bit. That can actually be a sign that he's already tired, but it can also be a sign that he's very smart and saving it for further sprints down the track.
Only time will tell, Claudio. Only time will tell. And speaking of time, we're getting close here to our first split, just after the Boccaccio stair drop. What's it gonna be? Getting close here, just getting ready to knock that split off. Oh, he's slow by 0.5 seconds. But he looks good, calm, and consistent, rolling through the bottom half of that stair section.
Very smooth there. So that half a second means nothing for now. And this is a guy who has some experience here. He raced here 3 times, or no, this is his 3rd time actually. He was 10th.
Yep.
His best result was 10th in the past.
10th at this race is something to be said. With the level of competition that's here and the amount of elite riders that show up year after year, 10th place is nothing to scoff at.
Scrubbing that one nicely. He came a bit short on the bus jump, quite a lot short actually, but he's sitting again. It looks like maybe he's riding a dropper seat post because he's able to pedal. Yes, it is a dropper seat post. He just dropped it right there. That is a smart move because then you can actually pedal while you're sitting and then lower your seat when you go into the stairs again.
So I'm assuming you actually be able to conserve a little bit of energy sitting and pedaling versus standing up and using all that muscle.
Exactly. I mean, obviously, if you sprint, you're standing, but are you able to sprint for 2 minutes 50 at full pace, or is it better to use that dropper seat post sitting down while you're pedaling?
And he goes fastest at split 2 by over 1 second.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Maybe, you know, that little bit of energy you can save by sitting down while you're pedaling is what makes you fast towards the end of the track.
Towards the end of the track is the pointy end. That is where the medals come down. If you can stay on the pedals, getting a little ET action coming out of that container, and he is still hard charging on the pedals. A little bit of an arrow tuck just to seal it down.
And there you can see how much. Look,
so much more energy, and he goes fastest by 2.5 seconds, and not only fastest so far, he is the fastest of the entire day.
Yes, and it shows that, you know, that strategy of sitting down in the right moment and being smart about this race, being strategic, that's what pays off. Now let's see if all the rest of the guys are ready for that too.
Taking a look on course here, looking up at some of these, I mean, he is pedaling essentially from top to bottom, so he's obviously got the fitness to do it.
He was actually 0.8 faster than Slavik in his qualifier, than Slavik's qualifier actually. So that means
Slavik has to go faster.
Not only Slavik,
everyone else. Alrighty, looking back up at the start gate, Lucas Alves doing it for Brazil today. 23 years young, one of the younger competitors in the field today. Dropping down out of the gate. This is actually his first appearance at Red Bull Valparaíso Cerro Abajo. So, will that affect him today, or will he be able to overcome that adversity? Looking good and coming through fast, very clean, smooth lines. Down over the first big feature on course. First stair section of the day for Luke, or first stair section of the race, I should say, for Lucas Alves, holding everything together and keeping it nice and tidy.
And he's actually the Latin American downhill champion, so that's who we have on track.
Okay, so what that means is that he's no new man to this, and he is fastest at split number 1 by over a half a second. 0.6 seconds up. That is a lot at this point in the course.
Yes, and he was pinning it really hard up top. You could see him standing and sprinting everywhere. Now let's see if he can keep that up all the way down, because we know what strategy the current leader has done. He was sitting down up top to save some energy towards the bottom. You could see him sprinting hard at the bottom. Now that's a completely different strategy right here, because he was going flat out up top. Let's see if he can keep it up all the way.
Well, he's the first person I've seen today make it nice and smooth over that bus jump. So something's working for him, and he seems to be doing well so far.
And he's on the full-on downhill bike too. He's not riding the small bike.
It keeps getting better and better. It's downhill bike versus trail bike. The competition is on. It just keeps switching back and forth. Which one's faster? Remy was fastest on the downhill bike. Then Lucas knocked him out. Lucas is on track right now to try and knock down the time of Felipe Orgoto. Here we go through split 2. What's it going to be? He's got to beat 2:12 on the clock.
Oh, he's late.
And he lost some time. He lost over 2 seconds in that section.
And that might be, I might be wrong, but it might be exactly that strategy of sprinting too hard at the top, not saving any energy, and maybe just not having enough power in your legs to sprint that hard down here, because this is a different energy than what we saw before.
Yeah. And I see what you're talking about. He doesn't have a dropper post on his bike, so he's not able to get extension on his legs, and he's not really able to pedal as efficiently.
Now let's see. No, it's not. He's losing a lot of time down here.
Lost a lot of time in the bottom section. Over 2.5 seconds back, 2.779 back. That's going to drop him into third place currently, right behind Remy Metailler and Felipe Arguto.
This is definitely where he was still on pace here through the stairs. And also through that dirt, the only dirt on track. Then he pretty much cleared it, not 100%. There were a couple of inches still. But then that's where he started losing time towards the bottom.
You were right. I was completely wrong in that. He did just hang up just a tiny bit. Well, a quick look up at our hot seat. We have still got 7 riders to go down our course here in Valparaíso, Chile. Looking up at it right now, it is going to be all about Bernardo Cruz. 27 years young, doing it for Brazil. Best placing here is 3rd place. That's pretty high up on the board.
And that is one guy that likes to go sideways on the jumps because he's one of the whip-off world champions.
Yes, he is. The good old Crankworks Festival, bringing us all the fun action. But we're dropping out of the gate, and he is hard charging there.
Let's see if he goes sideways today too, or if he goes for speed only. Oh, this looks like speed only.
We were talking about being conservative or letting it all out, but right now he has got that thing redlined. He has turned it up to 11 right now.
All right, all the way to the edge.
He even pushed a little pass. I saw that back tire sliding, but he keeps it under control down through Jessica's yard. First major stair section on course. This drop has shown a little bit of trouble for some riders, but getting through nice and clean.
All right, into the longer stairs here. Keeping it clean. Oh, yep. All good, no problem. Keeping good momentum through that tricky turn after the stairs.
He goes fastest by 0.5 seconds. So the letting it all out of the bag in once has so far benefited him. We'll see if it holds on, because the last rider did the same thing and slowed down towards the back half of the course.
Yes, we're about halfway, not yet, not even halfway. And you've seen how much sprinting there was already, and there's just going to be as much from here on down.
So he has a 0.05 second buffer. That's not a lot of time on a course like this. Even on only a 3-minute long, 250-minute long course, 0.05 is not a lot of buffer.
He still has energy here. He looks like he's not struggling with power, but he still has a minute to go.
Here we go. Last and final stair section on course. Coming down through, look at the crowd and that beautiful view we have got for you today. Crowd just lining the streets. There's endless people as far as you can see. And right now, Bernardo wants to give him a show. Is it gonna be a whip on those final jumps? What do you think?
I don't think so. He wants to win this race, so there's no time for whips.
No, but he has lost a little bit of time in that section, I believe, or did we miss a timing gate? Regardless, we're gonna find out at the bottom, and he's still got the energy. It's still there. He's still on those pedals.
But as you see, he cannot sit down like others we've seen before because he does not have the telescopic dropper post.
The one thing I did notice is that he wasn't able to sit down and pedal, but he was actually still standing up and sprinting, where I've seen other riders before sort of sit down and do a sloppy pedal, where he's standing up in full hard charging. Is it gonna pay off? No, it's not. He loses a little bit of time at the bottom, goes in for...
Well, if I saw it right, he was about 4 seconds back, but the time didn't stop, so...
Cruz doing it for Brazil here. Taking a look back up at the course at some of the highlights. Down through that section, got a little bobbly there.
Good thing his suspension was working well, because that could have thrown him out of control. But he kept it in control. Tiny little whip right there, not a real one. And in all the other jumps, he probably just didn't have the space to actually put his bike sideways.
Looking up at our riders right now. Gentlemen up top, but we are back on top of the course with Oskar Hörnström, Sweden, 29 years old.
Are you ready?
Best placing so far here is going to be 14th, but he wants to improve on that. This is his 3rd running at Valparaíso, and he is looking to drop into that podium position.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, jump!
The door opens, the gate is off, and he is on course.
Very experienced rider, did a lot of World Cup racing. Well, comes from Sweden, but lived in Switzerland for a while, training hard all summer long.
Looking fast through this section, holding it together nice and tidy. It doesn't look like he's quite coming out of the gate as fast as the riders we've seen before, but the fastest rider we've seen so far today didn't do that either. Sort of played a little conservative up to the top. Maybe that's what he's doing here.
Or maybe he's just not one of those 4-cross riders who have those super fast spinning legs, so it's a slightly different style where you push a little harder gear, but this is where he is good at. Look how straight he keeps his bike. That was absolutely no problem for him there.
That was the best and smoothest line we've seen so far today through there. Looked clean, controlled, no issues in there.
Oh, and landed that one all the way at the flat bottom.
Up at the first split, we were 0.3 seconds faster.
All right, now, there we go. Can he pull that all the way down to the finish line? Oh, that was a clean one now.
That was all the way over. Finally, we see it clean and clear over. 0.3 seconds up, and we've seen that many, many times today. Will it stick? Only time will tell.
All right.
That is going to be some good social media coverage. Hopefully they're using the Red Bull CVA hashtag so we can go and check all that footage a little bit later today.
And you can see how low his seat is, and that means for him, if he wants to pedal, he pretty much needs to be standing and sprinting. He cannot be sitting and pedaling.
So there won't be any sitting and pedaling. It's all stand up and sprint for him, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, you can turn your legs while you're sitting, but it won't be very effective.
Split 2, what's it gonna be? 0.17 back, that is not undoable. Oh, looking smooth through there, a little foot off just to counterbalance, but looking smooth and in control. Lost a little time so far on this bottom course, but still hard charged on the pedal, getting a little pump action in there.
It does look to me that the small bikes are faster here. Definitely not up on the stairs, but at the bottom half. I might be wrong, but that's my guess.
As we come across the line, I'm going to put a pin in that because I want to talk to you more about that. But right now, it's all about the finish line. 1.6 seconds up with a nice little nose wheelie to finish it off. That's going to slide him into 2nd place. Oskar Hörnström, by way of Sweden, dropping into that 2nd place. So talking about the differences between trail bikes and downhill bikes, I know you explained it a little bit earlier, but why is it such a big advantage?
Well, we don't know if it's such a big one, but on the pedally stuff, that bike is just a little stiffer, it's a little lighter, it has less suspension, you lose less of your energy in that suspension. And, you know, that might not matter that much at the first half of the track, and it definitely doesn't matter on the stairs where it's the other way around. But then when it comes to the second half of the track and your legs start burning, you know, that little bit of more energy that you can put down onto your tires, they just make a difference.
Because the bottom half is the part of the course that so far we've seen the top riders really make up a lot of time, it seems. All right, looking up at our current results, Felipe Arguto in the 1, Oskar Hörnström in the 2, and Remy Metailler rounding out that top 3. 2:50.55 is the time to beat right now. The fastest time of the day, qualifying and race alike. 2:50.55 is that time to beat, Claudio.
Oh yes, and one guy who really will not have a problem with all that pedaling is the next one in the start gate. I let you introduce him.
Yes, indeed. This man doesn't need much of an introduction, but we'll give it anyways. Oh man, just like the reigning champion, Fishy has a collection of both four-cross and downhill titles. Jonas Fishbach is going to be the man up in the gate. But right now, looking up at Felipe Arguto, sitting in that top hot seat. Back up to the top of the track. Jonas Fishbach doing it out of Germany, getting ready to take his run of the day. Our number 5 qualifier looking to advance that by just a few seconds right now.
One of the world's best four-cross racers, then swapped to downhill and was one of the best, or is still one of the best there too. Germany's finest, now on track. Now you will see some sprinting, sorry.
Oh no, not at all. You have a good relationship with him and I appreciate any and every bit of commentary. Well, the gate is out, he is on course, and you are not kidding me, he is hard on those pedals. I feel bad for those pedals right now. They're not having a fun day.
Oh, that chain will take some work right there. When Johannes, when he pedals, that's no fun for a bike.
Some serious power coming out of this gentleman right now. And the skills to back it up. That is the combination you need today. You need endurance, power, and skills. It is really, you gotta have everything to win this race here.
Yes, and Johannes is actually on a small bike with the single crown fork. Now let's see if that's trouble for him on the stairs here, and I don't think it is.
He's 1.5 up, it's not at all. Not at all as he comes off of that roof transfer. Ooh, a little cat dodging the screen there. Out of the hostel. He looks so fast and so comfortable right now.
Oh yes, and that power is still coming. No struggle for him there. Let's see if he clears this jump properly. Yep, that was the nicest one so far. That is clear.
He even landed a little down the backside, you know, just making sure you don't clip that edge because you don't want to slow down. Down the WD-40 drop.
Looks like he's already in shape for the World Cup, which starts in 2.5 months.
Yeah, just at the end of April, you were telling me. Well, we look forward to seeing them. We look forward to seeing him and all the UCI World Cup competitors there on Red Bull TV. End of April, but right now it is all about Chile. It is all about Valparaíso, and it's all about this urban downhill course you see in front of you. Johannes Fishbach on course out of Germany.
Oh, that looks pretty much perfect to me here.
He was 1.5 up at the first split. What's it going to be? Just about to tick through the second split.
It's going to be more, I tell you. Oh, am I wrong? No, it's less. We're almost even. A little trouble there.
Yes, he lost just under a second and a half. 1.4 seconds he lost on that. But he is still hard charged on the pedals, and this pedally section, from what you're telling me, might be a section for him to excel.
Yes, but he's not on that dropper post. So as you can see, as soon as he tucks, he cannot pedal anymore. And maybe that is really what makes the difference, but we'll see. He's definitely still on the power here, but he's only got 5 seconds to go if he wants to take the lead.
Oh, out of the flower shop. What's it going to be? Hold on to your seats. Oh, second place, sliding into second place with a 2:50.79. Felipe Arguto holds on for one more 0.47 seconds back. Johannes Fishbach sliding into second place.
Who would have thought that? I was almost sure that he's gonna take that lead by a big margin, but maybe that dropper post really made that difference. That strategic run that we've seen.
Well, I want to give you a note that I don't know if you know about Felipe Arguto. Last year he squeaked into the top 10. He was 17 years old. He's only 18 years old right now.
And already smart like a super experienced rider.
See the boys giving each other camaraderie. This is what it's about. It is definitely family and friend-oriented sport, showing the love to each other, but right now it is all about the flying Frenchman, Adrien Loron.
Adrien Loron, if you want to say it right, and he's the man who knows to pedal as well, even though pedaling is not very his discipline because he's one of the fastest pump track racers in the world. So that's not where pedaling counts, but look at him, look!
Yes, it's not, but he still knows what it takes. He also does a little bit of slalom, and that does require quite a bit of pedaling. So he knows what it takes.
Whoa, trouble!
Getting extremely close to that handrail, just putting it on the edge, revving the limiter all the way to max.
Yes, he was a little closer to that rail than he would want to.
I'm gonna assume that might have cost him just.
I would say
we're coming up to the first split here. We're about to find out in just a second how Adrien Loron's run is going. What's it gonna be? 0.2 seconds back, but the last rider we saw with a little bit of plus here was way minus.
Oh no, Moral, now this race is over for him. He had trouble again finding his balance, getting a little too close to the railings with his handlebar, and at the third time, the trouble was too big. I think that's where he lost his race. He cannot catch up that speed, or that time.
Still's gonna send it to the bottom and look good doing it. Getting a nice little bit of style over that bus jump. 8 meters through the air. Woo, that's a long ways. Talk about a full city bus in there.
He definitely wanted to win this one here, and I think he was overcooking it a little bit. You could see 3 times the same mistake up at the first half of the track.
Well, we have still got the fastest 3 qualifiers of the day coming up. Fastest 3 qualifiers still to hit the course, but right now it's all about Adrien Loron. Coming down through split 2, we know he had some trouble up on top, but he's still gonna finish out this race, do it for the crowd.
Well, I'm sure he's still pinning it as hard as he can. He probably doesn't know that. Well, look, he only lost 2 seconds, so the mistakes weren't that big.
No, they don't call him the Flying Frenchman for no reason at all. Still hard on it. This is that section that your legs are just burning and screaming, please stop, don't do this to me. But that is where the winners are made. Down through the final features, out of the container drop. Through the downtown crowd, flags flying, cameras out, everyone is just having a good time and bumping along to the music. Right now through the line, going 2.6 seconds slower, sliding him up into that top 5. That's still sliding him into the top 5 placing.
Yes, and you know, there were 2 major mistakes up there, and I would say he would have been right up there because he did look extremely strong.
That being one of those mistakes that you were talking about, a little slip up in that stair section there.
But he was able to push it all the way to the finish line at max pace. It was really just those 2 major mistakes that costed him those 2 seconds.
Well, we have still got the fastest 3 qualifiers of the day to go. But right now, it is all about Felipe Arguto sitting up in the #1 spot. Oh, that hot seat looks comfy and classy. Geronimo Paez doing it out of Argentina, waiting for that door to open and his run to start.
10 segundos. 4, 3, 2, 1,
Geronimo dropping down out of the gate. 3rd fastest qualifier of the day. Is he gonna have what it takes to get to the bottom? Well, we're gonna find out in just under 3 minutes here. Here we go.
All right, and definitely not holding back. As you can see, he was sprinting. Is that the right strategy? Does he have the power to push this all the way to the finish line? We will find out now.
Could that be the key? It's the rider that has it to sprint at the top and still have some back in for the bottom.
Yes, but if you don't have it, you need that dropper post or that strategy. Let's see. Going into the stairs now, one of the key sections.
All right, through the first split at the bottom of this stair set. 0.7 seconds back.
Wow, but super fast through that turn at the bottom of the stairs. I haven't seen anyone going that fast through that turn. Now that means something.
It does mean, oh no! Geronimo Paez goes down. That's that corner we were talking about earlier. You go from dirt to asphalt, and that's got to be one of the more difficult to control sections of the course.
Yes, exactly. You come on dirt. Every rider who rides through it pulls a little more dirt onto the road, and the turn is actually on the road. So it's a quite mean and tricky turn.
So you're not only fighting traction because, well, these bikes aren't necessarily designed to do, well, they are, but the tires aren't necessarily designed to hold what they're doing right now. They're putting a lot of G-forces on that, but then you add the dirt in, and it's just, sometimes it just takes it over the top. Just a little too much.
And as you saw with Wind Masters crashes, it is already really difficult to find your traction on the clean road, but then when there's dirt on them, it's really a fine line. And obviously they're pushing for the win now, so that fine line gets even finer.
Yep, and so with a race like this, it's really, like you were saying, finding that fine line, but pushing it to the edge, and maybe pushing a little further than you should, but being able to control it.
Well, you know, that's what downhill racing is all about. Pushing that edge, like managing being out of control and getting it back. But, you know, I recently read a saying somewhere, and it wasn't even related to mountain biking. It just said, if you're in control, you're not going fast enough.
I love that. That definitely applies to this race right here. Geronimo Paez, unfortunately not going to work out for him today, but he's still going to finish it off. A little seat grab for the fans. That is one thing I have to say I love about downhill mountain bikers is no matter what, they're going to do it for the fans.
Yeah, you know, when I was racing, I always said the cool thing about downhill racing is even if you don't do well, you still love it.
You still love it, and the crowd loves it as well. Well, with a 3:17.41, going to slide him into 12th place. Not the run he wanted, but still looked good doing it. Looking back up to the top, let's see what went wrong. Looking good through this section, holding it together nicely, and then right here's where it all went wrong.
Oh yes, he's still on the dirt here, then going onto the paved road. His front wheel slides away, both wheels slide away actually. I guess those spectators got a bit of a scare right there.
And that's one I'm assuming there's, sometimes you can see riders save that, but I'm assuming if you hit the railing like that, there's not much saving it.
Well, you know, you could probably save it on dirt because at some point you can gain that traction back, but on the road, it's gone.
So Felipe Augusto is guaranteed at least a third place, but right now we're going to see what Pedro has to say about that. Pedro Ferreira is on course right now, and he wants something to say about it.
He wants a lot to say about it, and you see a single crown fork. That means full attack for this guy.
He is in it for the win right now. Pedro wants a piece of it. Second fastest qualifier of the day.
Those two turns we saw up there, I think this is the fastest I've seen so far. Now, first stair section, not scared. Look at him attacking.
Full commitment, smooth, keeping good lines through here, holding it completely in control while out of control. Just what you were saying earlier.
Second stair set, and he's gonna go wild. Let's see if he can keep it straight.
Jumps, gaps. Here's where it gets to, and 0.12 seconds up right now.
This is looking good right there.
That is a huge margin, and he is on fire right now. Pedro Ferreira is looking awesome right now.
Okay, no problem for him getting onto the road from the dirt.
Smooth through that section where we saw Geronimo slide out last time, but it is no problem for Pedro right now.
Oh, keeping it low on the bus jump. I don't know if that was wanted or if there was trouble. I saw his gears were skipping before, so I hope he's not in trouble with his gear shifting.
Missed just a little bit. Maybe we'll find out towards the bottom if that was on purpose or not. But we're going to find out very quickly here whether it was a good thing or not, and that's what it all matters and what it all boils down to. Will he beat the clock?
Oh, he went deep on that jump.
Sending it so deep on that jump.
All right, not far to go to the second split.
Does he have the endurance to keep it up? Can he still provide the power that's needed to take this top spot? Just a few more seconds and we'll know where he's at in the across the split. Needs to beat 2:12 to be up. And he is. He's still over a second up on Felipe Arguto.
All right, now it's all about fitness. Let's see if he's got that juice in his legs.
All about the finish. Getting down to the pointy end of this run. Just a few seconds left. Speed tucking, opting not to pedal.
Yes, but he's not allowed to sit down much more if he wants to take that win.
Here we go. This is what it's all about. Coming down through the container. The last hard charging pedal section. Out the flower shop.
3 seconds to go.
What's it gonna be? And he goes fastest by almost half a second. 0.4 up. 2:50. Pedro Ferreira out of Chile, sitting in the #1. Felipe Arguto finally knocked down to that second spot.
And so the dropper post got beaten. Also on a small bike though, so we got 2 small bikes up there.
Oh, looking up at it, keeping everything nice and tidy up top. Getting through this section that gave Geronimo just a little bit of trouble, nice and smooth, no problem for Pedro. Looking fast, keeping low. Now I've got to wonder, is it faster to scrub that bus jump?
That is a very good question, because obviously, as we saw before, all the other riders who wanted to clear that bus jump, they had to go quite high, losing a lot of time up in the air. So maybe that's why he opted to stay low, not clearing the whole jump. Obviously not getting as much backside of it either, but that might be the solution. But now.
But did he save enough time to counteract? Well, it's all about Thomas Slavic in the gate. Now the gate is dropped down. He is on course. This is the last man to do it right here. He is the one that can deny Pedro Ferreira his victory. Thomas Slavic, 2017, 2018. Can he make it 2019?
And you know, if one of the guys here knows how to keep jumps low, then it is this guy.
Oh no!
Not that low.
Thomas Slavic goes down, loses it. Going to check on him and see about Thomas Slavic, make sure he is okay. But Pedro Ferreira up on the stage. He knows that he has taken the victory.
Let's hope that Thomas is all right there.
Yeah, we're gonna get the guys down there to check on him. Make sure he's okay after taking that hard slam. Right now, it is all about Pedro Ferreira, the Chilean, taking that #1 spot up on the stage. The crowd is going crazy right now. The local boy. All right, we're gonna throw it back up top and see what went wrong. What happened there, Claudio?
Ooh, well, just attacked a little too hard in that right-hander and probably some dirt there, and that's what we were talking about all race long. That grip is so hard to judge, and obviously his front wheel just slid off in a very, very bad moment. I hope he's all right there, because that slam was hard.
Well, one man that is not feeling sad right now is that man in front of you, Pedro Ferreira. Does it for Chile, bringing it home. Let's listen to the crowd. They are going nuts down there. It is just a party and having a good time. The energy and excitement in this gentleman right now. Taking a look back up. Let's look back up at Pedro's run. Claudio, walk me through this. What did he do right and when did he do it?
Well, it seems like he did it right from top to bottom. He did not hold back. He did not run that strategy of saving energy up top. He pedaled as hard as he could and was able to push it all the way through. And there was that little difference on the bus jump. He was the only one not trying to clear it. He was the only one keeping it low, landing on the bus, doing another little hop to then get the backside. And it seemed that this was the strategy, because jumping the whole bus was just spending too much time in the air.
Yeah, I mean, he took it by over a half a second. So that is, I mean, that could easily be that extra half a second of trying to sail over that bus jump and getting so high. But he also just looks so smooth through all of these sections.
Yeah, there was not much of a mistake we could see. And obviously also no problem for him going from that dirt onto the road and back on the gas right there, not sitting down, just sprinting. He's obviously in shape, and there you can see he didn't know. It almost put him into trouble though, trying to land on top of the bus. It almost got him bucked over the handlebars.
I saw that. It looked like it wanted to kick him forward, but he kept it in and smooth and under control. Still able, this is where that endurance comes into play, as he is still able to really lay down that power on the bottom half of his course here.
A couple of times during his run he was putting his hand on the helmet, but that was a gnarly moment right there where he sent it to flat bottom and got bounced. But 3 times on his run he was putting his hand on his helmet, grabbing it. I don't know what that was all about. Talking to his trainer or something.
Just readjusting that helmet to make sure he can see everything that he needs to. Lots of things running around down there on the streets. You want to make sure you stay clear of all of that. As we get towards the bottom end of this run, yeah, we're replaying the winner's run. Pedro Ferreira out of Chile. Look at this, the last little section on the course, and he is still producing so much power.
Just sat down for a couple of seconds and then did another sprint. So that's what you have to do on this one.
So looking back, I mean, it really, I didn't think about it earlier, but this guy has been winning so much this year. He already won Taxco. He won Medin. I mean, he's already been on a streak all year.
Yes, so he must be the new king of city downhill.
Let's throw it down to an interview with Pedro Ferreira. See what he's got to say about that winning run just now.
Well, I hope you can do some lip reading there, because I think we have some technical problem. I can't hear him, but that might be my ears. Can you hear him?
Yes, Pedro has got so much excitement right now.
Ever since he started riding, and he took the decision to turn an urban down a professional.
Well, obviously, I'd still like to know what Thomas Slavic...
¿Qué sensación especial te produce que esto sea tan local para ti y tener a toda tu gente acá?
No, increíble, lo mejor del mundo. Gané en México, gané en Colombia, pero acá se siente mucho mejor.
So it's an incredible feeling for him. He's already the winner in Mexico and Colombia, but to win so close to home, that's a completely different feeling. Cuéntanos cómo te sentías cuando ibas bajando hoy día en la carrera. ¿Pensabas que iba a terminar en el primer lugar?
Sí, siempre lo supe. Me tiré a fondo, pedaleé con todo lo que tenía y sabía que podía hacer lo suficiente.
He says he knew it had it in him, and when he was riding all the way down, he felt he could give it everything, and there was a good flow, and yeah, here we are. ¿Qué le quieres decir a la gente de Valparaíso que te ha venido apoyando todos estos años?
No, muchas gracias a todos, estoy orgulloso de ser chileno, tenemos la mejor carrera de descenso urbano del mundo y eso mismo ha hecho que tenga un buen nivel a nivel mundial en esto de lo urbano, así que feliz, muchas gracias Víctor por la carrera increíble, por su chileno y todo.
So he's really happy and thankful with the people of Valparaíso. That's his message, and he thinks that because we have this race here, that the level of the urban racing in Chile has become what it is. So felicitaciones, congratulations, Pedro. It's really for us at the crew here to have him as a winner. And well,
congratulations, Pedro Ferreira, taking it home. Just got word that we are attending to Thomas Slavic and looking over, make sure he is doing all right. We'll have updates with you when they come our way. What an afternoon we had here, Claudio. The racing this afternoon was absolutely jam-packed. Red line, turn to 11, start to finish.
Quite some action towards the end. Not the action that we expected, but I'm sure the crowds will love a local winner.
Oh, I mean, he's already won in Mexico and Colombia this year. So to take that ride, as he was saying, to take this win so close to home, I mean, that's got to be just amazing. From a racer standpoint, what does that feel like?
Well, you know, winning is always good, but winning at home is even better. But, you know, with him winning so many races in a row now, that his confidence must just go up and up and up.
His confidence is going up, and right now he looks like the man to be in the urban downhill world. Well, we are wrapping things up here in Valparaíso, Chile, looking out at our crowd. I want to thank them for coming out and supporting us, and for all of you here on Red Bull TV, checking out the action, watching what we got going on live. So, speaking of Red Bull Live, I mean, we've got so many cool events coming up. Crankworx is going to be very soon in Rotorua, coming up in just a couple weeks. And then you've got a couple things going on with the UCI Downhill.
Yeah, obviously the UCI Mountain Bike World Cup is going to start towards the end of April. There we have to focus on his run again, though.
Fishbach up on the hill. Let's see what it took for him to slide into that third place.
So that means actually we have the top three are on the single crown small bike. So that clearly shows you that on this track, at least, maybe not in general in urban downhill racing, but on this track, the small bikes are faster.
And Felipe Arguto, the youngin' of the group, good enough for second place today. He's only 18 years old.
And riding extremely smart with his own strategy, with a dropper seat post, being able to pedal while sitting, and that put him into second place. It was hard to beat him for the others.
So hard to beat that only one man was able to do it. And that man is none other than just gentleman right here, Pedro Ferreira, with the run of the day, fastest time of the day, beat the qualifying time, beat everyone else on course, and stuck his run top to bottom. Smooth as butter and looking fast all day. Down through the finish line with that 250, almost flat, 0.084, but we'll call it 54 flat. Well, thank you for sticking with us here at Red Bull TV all day for Red Bull Valparaíso. Looking up at our final results leaderboard. Bento, Pedro, Felipe, Johannes, Oscar, Remy Metailler rounding out that top five. Chile, German, and Sweden followed closely by French. It is a mixture of an international field here in Valparaíso. And boy, we are glad to have it. Look forward to many years to come. But for the 17th edition of Red Bull Valparaíso Cerro Abajo, Claudio, I want to thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me today and giving me all your amazing insight and knowledge.
Thank you. And you know what? This was the season kickoff. We're going to keep on going.
We have got a lot of action going all year long. Between bikes to World Rallycross to Red Bull Play Streets, we got everything, and it's going to be right here on Red Bull TV. My name is Addison Zawada. Claudio Calore rolling in with me all day for Red Bull Valparaíso. See you next time.